What's up guys, and welcome to the channel. Today we're working on the manual Supra once again, and in today's video we have a fun little product for it, which is the pedal commander. Now I recently installed one on my wife's Audi S3. Super impressed. It just sharpens up that throttle response to where the S3 now is just even more fun to drive. Of course, I've installed one on the GTR, my brother's Tacoma, his Audi R8, and my old Supra. I did a pedal commander on it. And basically what this tool does, it takes away all that throttle lag. You first hit your pedal, and guess what? There's about a split-second lag between the throttle body actually opening from when you physically hit the pedal. This dials it in to where you can basically make it do a 1-to-1 ratio, to where the moment you put your throttle pedal, in a certain position, the throttle body opens the exact same way. Now there is some misconceptions with these. They don't add power. They're not supposed to add any horsepower. You put your car on the dyno with one, it's not gonna make any difference. With that said, on my old Supra, we dynoed the car in sport mode and in normal mode. Now, when you put these cars into sport mode, it sharpens up throttle, tightens up the whole car, and it's significantly more fun to drive. Sport mode and normal mode on the dyno doesn't add any power either. Sport mode doesn't do anything as far as actually putting the power to the ground. It simply makes it more fun to drive. That's what the pedal commander does. It makes the car more fun, more responsive, and while it's not gonna add any power, it makes it better. So with that said, it's kind of hard to explain. It's one of those products you just got to install it and you will understand how cool it is. Inexpensive product, and you can pretty much put one on any car. Now we do carry these on our website. We have the direct link for the Supra as well as the other cars on our website linked down below. And then for those of you with a car that isn't one of these cars, we have a website link to Pedal Commander down below as well. Check it out and get one for your own car. Any car you have, whether it's a basic car, performance car, whatever it is really worth it. And with the Supra, this is gonna be kind of interesting because now this is my 2023 manual transmission Toyota Supra. My last Supra was, of course, the automatic. So it's gonna be interesting how much more precise the shifting is gonna be now that I'm gonna have more control on that throttle. So first on the list is to just pop this little circle out. You're gonna see the start bolt, and then we're just gonna go ahead and start getting that bolt out. And then from here, it's on a clip. You wanna push it upwards and get it right off. And the plug itself is back there. And then from here on the bottom and the top, we need to undo these little clips to get this plastic thing off. And there we go. And with that unplugged, now it's time to take the pedal commander box. We're just gonna pop this open, and you can see the actual unit in here. And we just wanna lift this out. And you're gonna see the entire cable system as well as the controller. So there's over 30 different settings, and eco mode is more conservative than stock. You can actually get a little bit better fuel economy, and then all these ones are gonna dive into around stock, and then much more responsive than stock. You also have Bluetooth connectivity if you wanna use the app on your cell phone. And then here are the two plugs. This basically is plug and play, and each kit is designed for the specific car. So of course, order the one that's for your car. This is gonna directly plug into the plugs that we just unplugged, and then it's going to work. And then just go ahead and plug it in until everything clicks as you would expect. And then go to the pedal assembly itself. And once again, just make sure it's the right direction. And they can only go one way, so if it's not plugging in, you got it wrong. So with that said, we're gonna tuck the wires up a little bit just to get them out of the way, re-hook it on to this back piece, and that is nice and level. And then the way I like to do it for the Supra, get these cables just going upwards. I'm gonna tuck them underneath the plastic trim piece up here. And then take that screw, we're just gonna slide it back into place and tighten it all back together. And of course, lastly, just pop on that little plastic piece. So with the car turned on now, everything plugged in, you can basically put this wherever you'd like. There is Velcro and stuff in the kit if you want to have it to where you can grab it all the time. Or of course, you can just tuck this somewhere hidden underneath this plastic trim if you're just gonna set it and forget it or use the app. So basically the way it works now, you just tap this button to turn it on and to scroll through the different drive modes. You'll hold it down to go into the eco mode. So I'm gonna start it off just in the off mode just to get my bearings once again with the stock throttle position and everything. And then we're going to basically play with it into the different modes. And then the other buttons down here, you can go into your different settings. So you go all the way into +4, and then down into the negatives. So then driving with the car in the stock mode, having this turned off, just getting my bearings with the car stock, I really don't have any complaints with the stock throttle response. It's a nice soft delay, I would say, to where it's responsive enough, but kind of a soft design to the stock tuning to where it's easy to drive. When you go into sport mode, of course, that sharpens out throttle response quite a bit. And basically that's where the pedal commander is really going to take over in a car like this. It allows you to go further than the car's sport mode and more conservative than the car's normal mode. So it's a really cool way to just dial in that response, because with modern cars, the way they work, the throttle pedal is all electronically controlled to the throttle body, which is what makes the engine start revving up. There's no cable or anything like that. This basically just intercepts the electronic signal and makes it to where you can basically get up to a 1-to-1 ratio. If you quickly go to half throttle, the throttle body will instantly do exactly what you're doing at the exact time it's doing. Most cars, if I go half throttle, there's a delay and then the throttle body opens, and it only opens at a certain rate. This improves all of that. It's hard to explain, it's a lot to explain, but it makes such a difference. Alright, so getting my bearings with its stock, one thing I do when I adjust it, I just make sure my foot is off the throttle. So we'll go into sport mode, just go sport plus 2. Ooh. That is way more peppy. So like I was talking about earlier, that like soft delay in the throttle, wow. As soon as I touch the gas, we are moving. And it's cool, the way I can tone this all the way down into a more conservative setting than stock. I'll be teaching my wife how to drive manual in this car, and I'm gonna of course drive it first just to see how it feels, but I'll be able to adjust it to where it's even more conservative, even easier to learn to drive stick shift on. So you kind of have that ability. So this setting, I definitely don't need much throttle input, and the car is going. Wow, it takes some getting used to with a manual. Dare I try Sport Plus mode? Alright, Sport Plus plus 4. That is the most responsive setting. As soon as you touch the throttle body is instantly open. Sport mode. Wow. Man, that is so much quicker. That's crazy. Wow, that takes a little getting used to. Depending on the car is going to depend on which mode works the best. Performance cars, Sport Plus might be a little aggressive. So let's go back into City now. Let's do City plus 2. This feels similar to stock. Yeah, that's a little stiffer than stock. Let's set it all the way down. Let's go to Eco mode. This is going to be very interesting. Eco mode, just plus 1. I am half throttling it and there is nothing happening. Wow. Wow, the throttle doesn't kick in until almost at full throttle. Wow. So that's really, really conservative. If you were to drive it in this mode, that's where you can kind of save some MPG to where you can play with the throttle much more, and the input is going to be very, very slight. Let's just do City plus 1. That might be a little bit... Yeah, that's a little bit more aggressive than stock, just kind of sharpening it up just to where it takes that initial delay off. And with modifications, as I tune the ECU and actually add more power to the car, I might fine-tune this to adjust how I want the throttles basically to come on. So it's a really cool controller just to further fine-tune how your car is going to work. And my biggest thing with the cars it's not necessarily about adding power, it's about adding more precise aspects to your car. The more precise your car can drive, the more it relates to you as the driver, the better it's going to get. Just think of every aspect of your car. You as the driver are controlling it. If I'm turning the steering wheel and I have to turn the wheel here to here just to do this little movement, think about how much worse this car is going to drive around a track. It's going to be less fun. It's just not going to be fun having to do all this movement just to make a small turn. Same thing with your throttle pedal. Wouldn't it be nice to just give it gas and the car does exactly what you asked it to do when you do it? That's what the throttle controller does using the pedal commander. It basically just controls that input to where you give it gas and the car is accelerating and doing exactly what you want. Let's go to City plus 4. Yeah, as soon as I give it gas, that's a good setting for this car. It's not too aggressive. There's just enough delay to kind of work with the manual mode. So let's go back to sport mode. We'll go up to sport +4. And while this doesn't control the turbo or things like that, in a turbo car, it kind of eliminates turbo lag just a little bit, because now there's no throttle lag to where the turbo is then coming on sooner, because you're taking out one more step from the turbo spooling. Of course, you got to give it throttle to let the car do what it's got to do to start spooling the turbo. Now that the throttle lag is gone, the turbo is going to, in relation to the throttle pedal, happen a little bit quicker. And it doesn't affect, man, that's so much more throttle, that's crazy. It doesn't affect to where you're not going to use your whole pedal. You still need to go full throttle to give it full throttle. It's now a better ratio to where the more you give it gas, the more it opens, but it all happens when you do it, and there's no more delay. Dang. Yeah, that is nice and sharp. The car just hits much quicker from when you give it gas. That is really cool. And then playing with it a little bit more, going back to stock, there's like maybe a quarter of a second delay from when I hit the gas and when the throttle opens. And fine-tuning it more, City +1, as soon as I hit the gas, just lightly, you can feel the car accelerating. So I think that is it. City +1 for the Supra is like that perfect ratio to where there's no delay, but it's not too aggressive to where it's kind of too much for the car to handle, because too responsive can get a little annoying. You don't really want to drive like that. And again, depending on your car, it might be different. The S3, I was in the Sport +2. However, on the Supra, much more powerful car, City +1, that is just perfect. It doesn't feel weird. It's all about just fine-tuning it to where it feels right. And that is right on this car for sure. Going into reverse and everything, you know, it's not too hard to just get used to the control. I think I'm liking that quite a lot for this car. So there it is, installing the pedal commander on the manual transmission Toyota Supra. I just love the added benefits of that fine-tuned control now with the throttle and how everything works. Just makes the car better and more fun to drive. And a car like this, heck, any car honestly, the more fun it is to drive, the better it's going to be. As far as taking a look at how I'm setting it up, now that I've got this sweet spot, I've just tucked in the cable the whole way, and the pedal commander is just going to sit in between the seat there to where it's completely out of sight, out of mind, because I have it in a position that I like. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, this also does not affect any tuning. If you're going to be doing ECU tuning or something like that with your car, doesn't affect that. My old white Supra, it was tuned when I had one on it. Doesn't make a difference. It simply fine tunes the throttle response itself and doesn't mess with your engine or transmission or something like that. So I'm pumped. If you guys have any car, check out the links down below. The first one underneath the description is for anybody with any car. If you do have a Supra, you know, the R8, GTR, the cars that we offer on our website, click those links below that one. So I would highly recommend one. We've done it to now, this is the 6th car we've done a pedal commander on, and I really recommend it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and I'll see you all in the next video.